This is Boston Chris with another great episode of the ETX ROCKS Show.
Louise here.
Descript.
Featuring all genres and styles of entertainment.
And coming to ETX ROCKS.
Let's hear it from Louise, please.
From the unheralded and unheard to the legends and beyond.
Out of the box, ETX ROCKS.
It's awesome.
We keep them coming.
$5, that's pocket change.
Well, hey, y'all, this is Haley McDaniel. Are y'all ready for this?
ETX ROCKS Show is the greatest show of all time, okay?
We are ETX ROCKS.
The ETX ROCKS Show is the best show of all time, say? The other shows, you're good, you're real good. As long as we're around, you'll be second best, say?
Cut.
Hey everybody, this is Darren Morris, and we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the ETX ROCKS Show. This is Behind the Music with Boston Chris, and we have a very special guest, a treat for y'all today, all the way from Seguin. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Seguin, Texas, which I guess is in South Texas, pretty far from here. I think this might be one of your first times to East Texas.
Yes, actually, right?
We've been in the area before.
Yeah.
The first time with a radio tour through here, though?
We've been to like a little north of like Houston kind of area. Livingston.
Okay, yeah, Livingston.
Yeah.
But that's really bad.
Yeah.
That's kind of East Texas, I guess, but this is Upper East Texas.
Yeah.
But we have the one and only Natalie Rose on the ETX ROCKS Show today. Of course, Natalie was on earlier last year, I think. I think you were episode 75. And now this is episode 47 of season 2, so you're almost at 150. So I guess every 75 episodes we'll just have Natalie come back and we'll talk to her about what's going on. But the reason why we have her back on the show is you have a single out now that's been out for about 3 weeks and it's just really climbing quickly. It's already number 48 on the Texas Regional Radio Report. It's called Conformity. And I know back on episode 75, you and Haley did talk about the song a little bit even before it was released, and we were really looking forward to it. So to watch this song really shoot up so fast, and you've had 4 singles on the charts, but I mean, I don't think any of them moved this quick,
none
right?
of them moved. I do know, like, I always compare it when I tell people at live shows, you know, a lot of people that are just fans don't understand the radio side.
Right.
So when I tell them, like, oh, you know, I just got word in Conformity, you know, it's at number 48 after 3 weeks, you know, they clap. But then, like, to emphasize, you know, I say, well, my first single released to Texas radio, Lonely Home, it took like 6 or 7 months or longer than that to get to number 46.
Right.
And so I say, and so for this current one to be only 3 weeks in order to be at 48, you know.
And plus, I mean, it's really, really hard for a female in Texas to get into the top 50 as well. It's really unfortunate. It seems to be changing a little bit, which is good. But 3 weeks top 50 for Texas female is unbelievable. And I think this one's going top 10.
Thank you.
Honestly, because the song just has so much relevance to young ladies today, I think, and it means a lot. It's really relevant to the younger generation of girls and stuff that they go through. And I'm hoping we can talk a lot about that today.
Yeah. And I was going to say, maybe I think that's why you're seeing more girls in the top 50 and more. Because I think a lot of them are finding who they are now.
Yep.
I do know in the beginning, when I first released Lonely Home, it was only just a few years ago, just a couple years ago, and I would look around and all the girls had like the same hairstyle and they would wear the same kind of dresses, the same style, and the same kind of music. And I noticed that there wasn't any difference in it. And that's why I wrote the song Conformity, because I started feeling like, well, maybe I need to be like they are. Maybe I need to wear those kind of clothes and wear my hair like that in order to get noticed. And I think that now not only have I realized it, but I think a lot of the other female Texas artists have found themselves and they found their own style.
Right.
And they've found what really is them, you know, how
and
they
I think
were
it's
their...
cool too that a lot of these women are, you know, they're obviously great songwriters in the state of Texas, both on the male and female side. But, you know, for so many years, the female country singer in Texas was more looked at as the support for a show instead of the headliner of a show. Mm-hmm. And now you're starting to see that these venues are starting to take a chance on people like Bree Bagwell and others like her to actually headline the show and actually sell out a show with a female headliner. Yeah. And I think Texas fans are just, you know, itching for it. But for whatever reason, the venues, you know, are just starting to now come around.
I have gotten flat out told by a venue that we don't hire females.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
I've also been told where somebody said, like, hey, they came up to me because I did a benefit that was held there. It was held there, so we actually played in this venue. And the venue came up to me and said, hey, I've heard a lot about you, and I want to book you to play here. So after we got to talking, she said, but I need y'all to do, because I have band members that sing too.
Right.
And she said, I need y'all to do 50% guy songs. Or no, it was like 75% guy songs. So she basically wanted to book me for my name, but she didn't want a female actually singing. She wanted the males to do all the singing.
That's ridiculous.
But be able to put it under my name.
That's ridiculous.
True story.
Wow. Kind of reminds me of when we had Brie Bagwell on the show. She said that she went to a show one day and they had an MC there, and the MC called her to the stage as Bri Bagwell.
We did a radio tour
We'll
one
call
time.
it Bro Bagwell.
Right.
Bro Bagwell. We did a radio interview where, you know, both of us walked in like we are right now, and you know, I'm scheduled for an interview, and the guy he starts. And at the time, he had like a long ponytail, a little thicker beard. The guy starts talking to him. Well, I think nothing of it. You know, I'm like, well, at the time I was more shy,
Right.
and they were always drawn towards him more because he would actually keep a conversation pretty well, and I couldn't at the time. I was super, super shy. And so we get in to do the interview, and all of a sudden he starts asking him questions. And he was like, oh, no, it's her.
Right.
And then the guy kind of looked at me and went, oh. And I was like, all right.
The good news is, though, is that is starting to change.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, because, you know, there's a lot of great female country artists within the genre here in Texas, I think. And I think Conformity is going to, I'm calling it right now, I think this is a #1 hit. I really do. I think it's going to go #1.
Funny that you say that, because I've been to like all these other stations in the past like 3 weeks, and all my past releases, they've said things like, "Oh, it's gonna be high on the charts. It's gonna be high on the charts." But that's all they say. This past 3 weeks, I have had like at least 5 flat out tell me it's gonna be #1.
I've never called a #1 hit on this show before.
And I've had
Never.
5 people tell me that in the past 3 weeks, and it's getting me excited. I'm like,
Yeah,
don't be letting me down, people.
I don't know a lot about the charts. I watch them a little bit just because we have a lot of the folks on the charts on the show. And, you know, we kind of gauge people's success in the industry based on the charts, just because we're way out here in East Texas. So it's hard for us to know what's going on in Amarillo and Lubbock and all that. So, you know, I see Natalie Rose, and of course I know who you are anyway from having you on the show before, but I see you at 111 or whatever at week 1, and then 48 after week 3. That's 53 spots right there in 3 weeks or 2 weeks, really. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think you can slow it down. I think you're just gonna be really surprised with this one.
I think back to my other ones that took like 7 months to get where they were.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sometimes you just have to have that timing for the right message, and this song has that message. I think it's perfect for early summer. I'd love for you guys to play the song if you're interested.
So everybody call your radio stations and...
Absolutely. This song right here, guys, it's called Conformity. This is the one and only Natalie Rose, and if you enjoy this song, I think you will, make sure you call in your local radio stations. I don't care where you live, Bangladesh, Thailand, Antarctica. Call and request this song. This is called Conformity by Natalie Rose.
I don't know where I'm going, I don't know who I am. It's hard to find yourself when
Awesome. That was Conformity by Natalie Rose. Guys, we will be right back after this message from our sponsor, Mobile Audio and Video Productions.
This is important, so grab a pen. We are Mobile Audio and Video Productions, serving East Texas and surrounding areas. We're running a special for electronic press kits, also known as promos or EPKs. For $496 with everything included, we will come to your location, film and record your band's live performance, interview band members, then create a professional package with graphics and effects delivered to you in the digital format of your choice, ready to be uploaded to your band's website, Facebook page, or YouTube channel. The packages we prepare can also be pretty valuable tools to send to venues, booking agents, or promoters, even record labels. You take your band seriously, make sure the world does too. Here's our number, 903-738-3881. Check out mobileaudiolabs.com. Find us on Facebook, Mobile Audio and Video Productions.
Hey y'all, Boston Chris here with the ETX ROCKS Show. And did you know your commercial for your band, venue, or local business, or national business could have been right here where I'm talking? For the low cost of only $200 a month, you can have your professionally filmed commercial right here where we're talking. Plus, 20% of all advertising dollars spent here on the ETX ROCKS Show goes to a local East Texas charity. Whether it's a homeless mission, or military, or cancer, or kids, we will be giving 20% of all of our advertising money directly to a locally based charity. In addition to your commercial, all advertisers will receive identity tagging on all social media platforms, including our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Instagram. And this is for the life of the show. That means anytime we re-promote an episode, which is very often, you will receive that same identity tagging, whether it's 3 years from now or a month from now. Our social media has grown rapidly over the last few months. Guys, in April 2017 alone, we connected with over 140,000 people between our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. That means that is a whole new audience for you and your business to reach. So jump in with the ETX ROCKS Show today. Advertise with us, and 20% goes to local charities. And all you have to do is contact us at etxrocks@gmail.com. Thank you, and here is the rest of this awesome episode.
How y'all doing? This is Doug Supernon. Thank you for tuning in to ETX ROCKS.
All right, so we are back from commercial. Make sure you guys are checking out our sponsor, because they're really helping us a lot to make sure these episodes come out good in the audio and the video. I was just talking to Natalie off camera about the last line of that song. The way I picture that is like taking a picture off the wall and turning it backwards and then rehanging it and seeing the back of the picture. Is that what you meant by that?
Well, the first point, I love writing songs that can mean different things to different people.
Right.
That's my favorite way to write a song, is that they can relate it to however they want to relate it.
Right.
In my head, I had kind of pictured, and I thought about using this for a music video too before I went with the home video clips for the regular video.
So cool.
But I had pictured in my head someone originally going against a crowd, like a crowd going in one direction and someone walking away.
Okay.
And you're seeing their face, but you're seeing everybody else's backs. And at the end of the song, the person finally conforms and they turn around and go with the crowd. And so you see their back too. And that's how I kind of come out with that song.
Okay, so I completely got that wrong. Forget about what I just said.
Well, you got the backwards
Like you said, it means different things for different people.
Yeah, well,
you were spot on, man.
Yeah.
Spot on.
I got this. All right, so obviously, I mean, I can feel a huge Dolly influence on any of your songs, and she actually practiced a little bit with Jolene earlier, but
Yeah.
I would love to hear about some of your influences, but, you know, just about any song I hear you do, I mean, it's so Natalie Rose, but you know, at some point or another within that song, I can feel Dolly shining through that. So I would love to hear about some of your other influences as well.
Yeah, I have like a few like big interests that I always list. My influences were always Dolly Parton, Patsy Cline, Reba McEntire, Martina McBride, and then this one always surprises people, but Selena Quintanilla.
Okay. No, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, a lot of people are always like thrown off by that last one.
I can hear that too, and I mean, when you're writing a song, are you trying to kind of, I mean, do you lean on your influences when you're writing a song?
I kind of do. I tend to lean more on the Dolly. That's always what I say, is I took my writing influences from her.
Yeah.
I think more vocal from other people. But writing, and I finally figured this out. Like all these years I've been singing, I finally just figured out like 2 months ago that my favorite style of country is like 70s country. That's my favorite.
I can feel
and
that.
so I realized that now that I kind of have something to bounce ideas off of, I used to write songs and I would never be able to like come up with different things. I ended up finding out I like 70s style. So now that I've really paid attention to what my favorite songs are, what era they came from, and what I like to write, I kind of put it all together and realized like, oh, so this is kind of what I like.
And that's kind of the I guess you could say the era of female country stars too, was the mid to late 70s, the Tammys and the Barbara Mandrells.
There was a big hit in the 90s too, which I draw a lot of influence from that too. You
What's
got
that?
True.
like the Shania
Shania
Twains
Twain,
and the
and that's when
Terry Clark, Better Things to Do.
Yeah.
and that's when Martina was getting really,
Yeah.
really big too.
Right.
Yeah,
See, I'm
one
a
of
huge
the-
fan of any country, but I grew up in 90s country, so,
Yeah.
you know.
So I think like the 70s women country and the 90s women country is where I draw most of my.
Did you ever hear Cherie Austin? Is that a name you know?
Sounds familiar.
I'm curious because she released a cover of Jolene in the 90s. That was
I think
actually
I
on
did.
the radio.
I think I did hear about that.
I was a huge Cherie Austin fan, and I got to interview her. I was excited.
Yeah, see, I just kind of like looked at all my favorite
Like imagine
songs.
interviewing your crush. That was
Yeah.
that. You know?
Remember that song you did?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was
awesome.
so good.
Yeah, so I just kind of like took a list of all my favorites. I noticed like the covers that I like to do at shows, and they were always like Jolene or like her song Bargain Store or her song Joshua.
Bargain Store. Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite Dolly Parton songs that I don't think anybody ever hears.
Yeah,
That
we
is
do that
awesome.
one. We do that one at our shows.
Nice.
And then
Check that song out, guys.
we also, I don't know about the exact dates, but some of my favorite songs are always like Mama Tried, Mama's Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, you know, those kind of, I don't know, I like that kind of country where it's still raw and natural, and there's just like a grittiness to it, but
Yeah.
at the same time it's catchy and melodic. Like
And then you
that's
kind
what
of, what I love about you too is, you know, you take that kind of style, that 70s style, the Dolly Parton in you or whatever, and then you kind of add Texas to it. And then, I mean, that's kind of your vibe, I think. And I think that's really translating to fans on the radio right now, honestly. I mean, you take 70s female country and you add a smidgen of Texas and
a little bit of
Natalie
90s
Rose.
too, throw that in there too.
Yeah, just a pinch of 90s. So, I mean, one thing I've got to ask you, and, you know, this is, like I was saying to you off camera with your bio is amazing.
Thank you.
And I think I would love, if there's anybody out there, especially young females that happen to be watching this show, I implore you to go to NatalieRoseMusic.com and click on the About section and just read that, and you'll kind of hear where she's come from. But I mean, you have an unquenchable passion for music, and you exude confidence on stage. I mean, also that confidence kind of comes through in your recordings as well. You describe yourself as shy, and you were bullied in school when you were young. So what obstacles have you faced in coming out of your shell?
Coming out of my shell took a long time, and it still gets hard. You know, there can be little things that like push me right back in sometimes.
Right. Like triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the big things is that I have like mild, simple. It's called simple Tourette's, and it's basically like a little bit of like, you know, an eye roll here and there kind of thing, or you know, just like a little, you know, just little things like that. But the eye roll thing would get me in a lot of trouble
I
because
imagine.
people thought I was rolling my eyes at them,
Right.
and it's really like that. And I would do shows, and people would want to talk to me. And that's when I would get nervous, because when I'm on stage, and I've actually watched a documentary of another kid who was on The Voice, who had Tourette's, and they said whenever he would sing, he wouldn't do that. And that's how I was on stage. It just goes away.
Yeah.
And then when I get off stage, it comes back, and it's because you're distracted. Your focus is not on how you're feeling, you know, it's on like your music. And so when I get off stage, that's when I would get super shy and nervous, because I knew people would want to talk to me, and I wouldn't be able to withhold doing the, you know, the little tics and stuff like that. And so I would be talking to people, and I'm actually better at controlling it now than I was. Like back then I couldn't control it hardly. I was like, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15. I didn't know how to, it took a lot of like training to do it.
Yeah.
And people just would say that I was rude, and they would spread rumors that I was so rude, and I rolled my eyes at them. And so that was a big obstacle, and that's why I included that in the website, because if anybody ever has an issue where they think I'm rolling my eyes at them or something like that.
Right.
They can actually read it and be like, oh, that's why.
So basically, I mean, this gives you a way to actually roll your eyes at people and get away with it. You know what I mean?
I've been playing with her for 6 years, and at first I thought she was rolling her eyes at me too, and it took a while to be like, no.
I think she might be though, John.
Oh no, she still does. Yeah.
But, you know, it's just like little things like that. And then one of them is I was, you know, super shy. And I would have like one of the things that would send me back into my show would be I would be doing a really good show, and then somebody would come up and like criticize the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for somebody who has like hardly any self-confidence, sometimes when somebody would like, and not really self-confidence, more of like insecurity or
Right.
self-doubt. Like,
Yeah.
I think I did a good job. I feel good about that show, but there's stuff that could be better. And then when somebody would actually come up and tell me that, it would just kind of like,
Even if it was stuff that you had already identified
Yeah.
as something that could be better.
Yeah.
Because somebody else noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so there's just little things like that that would kind of make me more shy. Like I'd be having a really good show, then all of a sudden I'd get really shy and I'd get really sad, and then just little things like that. Just definitely the shyness was my biggest obstacle, because I just was so like, you know, it's just radio tour. Like Dylan Seguin, my promoter, he said, I'm going to send her out on radio tour for my first single. He said it's going to do one of two things. It's going to either rip her out of her shell, or it's going to do nothing at all. And it ended up pulling me out of my shell.
Do you feel like the music, I mean, mostly the songwriting process, do you feel like that's pretty therapeutic for some of your self-doubt issues? Are you able to put that into words, kind of make yourself come out of that a little more?
I am really. I have a bunch of different songs that I've written that I've never actually. I've either finished them and I just don't do anything with them, or I haven't really finished them all the way. But I do write a lot into my songs. I do like to write my personal experiences and feelings in my songs, but I like to make them relatable for other people to get something out of it that relates to them.
Yeah. I think self-doubt is a huge thing for a lot of young people in today's generation. I guess, what would you call them? Generation Me? Is that
And
what
I
it
wouldn't
is?
even say just young people. I think that's pretty universal.
Yeah, I agree with
Everybody's
that.
got moments of weakness. You
Yeah.
know, what you brought up, I felt like she kind of really came out a lot when she wrote her bio, and just kind of like cards on the table here.
I think that kind of really like was the final thing that kind of pulled it out. I was like, well, everybody knows about the car accident that we were in, and everybody knows about my OCD, my Tourette's. You know, it's like
kind of like a big, like, I'm weird. Get it?
Yeah.
Get over it.
It was kind of a
yeah.
weird thing like that, and so it's really pulled me out of my shell, because when I shared it, I put it on my Facebook page, and I put like, you know, spent a lot of time writing this bio, and you know, would appreciate it if y'all would check it out.
Right.
And I just got like a flooding like feedback coming back about how it made this person like feel like they were connected more to me, or like this person felt like they understood me more, that or this person felt like I was somebody who would understand them. Like I had a big outpour of just positive feedback from people that really enjoyed reading it.
That's awesome. And I mean, the reason why I wanted to talk about this as our Behind the Music segment is I've got a couple of young daughters myself, and my daughter is standing right there. She's 17 years old, and her name is Cassie, by the way, and she's a huge fan of yours. And she suffers and deals with a lot of the same self-doubt and self-confidence issues. She has a beautiful singing voice, always has. But, you know, she's one of those that can only sing if she's got her back turned to you. And I think you had written something like that in the bio. You know, I had to stand with my back to everybody and
don't clap.
And don't clap, because clap means bad. And she's kind of the same way. And so I wanted to talk about that and hopefully give her some insight. And as a dad with a child like that, and she had some of the same kind of Tourette's-like stuff too. She would snap her fingers a lot and do this with her hair, and didn't even know she was doing it. So it's really kind of eerie to hear the similarities, but
You know, and I think that's another reason I put it out there. Was a lot of people. It took me a while. A lot of people they don't understand what Tourette's is. You know, it's like OCD. A lot of people don't understand that it's not just clean freaks.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that actually hoarders, like on the TV show Hoarders, they have OCD.
Yep.
It's a huge variety of things. It's not just being, you know, clean or like hygienic or like organized. It's much more
It's
than
just
that.
being obsessive over anything, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it
it
doesn't
can
have
be-
to be. I mean, obsessive compulsive clean is just one
Yeah.
thing about being obsessive about.
And so, you know, with Tourette's, it's like what you see on TV, you know, what you see in like, you know, what you hear about. And a lot of people don't realize that it can be much more simple than that, or it can be super complex. It just all depends.
Right.
And
each person is different.
And I never, we had somebody, an actual old musician of mine, come up to my mom's about like 4 or 5 years ago, and he told my mom, he asked my mom, does Natalie have Tourette's? And she was like, what? No, you know, and then she was like, wait a minute, because we'd heard that the little things were a part of OCD, which I was diagnosed with, and we thought it was that. Well, it turns out that if you have OCD, you're also likely to have Tourette's as well. They kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
So then we ended up finding that out. I did some more research on it, and then I found out I have like the simple, which is just, you know, like the little eye
Little
blinking and
mannerisms, yeah.
just little things.
Little
It's
tics,
a
yeah.
lot of people don't notice it unless they're really
Yeah.
paying attention to me.
I'm gonna have that looked into. Because, like, yeah, the snapping of the fingers. She had like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, and it can like either worsen or like get easier as you get older, and I think sometimes it can disappear. I did read up on something interesting, and it says that it can be caused, one of the causes they think that causes it is lack of oxygen during birth, low blood supply oxygen
Wow.
during birth. And me and my mom almost died when she gave birth to me. I actually was born solid purple. I had no oxygen whatsoever.
That's very
And so I do
creepy.
think that was a very
Same
That's
thing.
That's not just an Italian thing.
No, the same thing happened with my daughter. The cord was wrapped around her throat when she was born, and they had to take her out through C-section. So,
See, my mom had, I can't remember what it was called officially. I always forget.
I have no idea.
It was,
well, John blames it on being Italian, apparently. So.
it was something with the heart or whatever. It was like the low blood supply, low oxygen. I was born like solid purple.
Wow.
And so it was, that's what I kind of think caused it. Because
Right.
they say that it's due to like something with the brain, lack of oxygen during birth as a baby. And I think that's what it was.
Very cool. So, I mean, you know, what advice would you give other young women who have faced bullies and, you know, insecurity, shyness, self-confidence issues, stuff like that? How would you help them come out of their shell?
I'd probably have a little bit of advice for them, but at the same time, I'm still even figuring it out myself.
Right.
But, see, when I was bullied, it was for multiple things. One, I used to do like the treads. I used to do one that I don't do anymore, and I used to go, like that was one that I had. And I would get bullied so much when I was just, and I'm talking like, this is like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. But they were like, I had no friends because all my friends had moved to a different school, and I was stuck, and there was literally just a group of kids that would pick on me every day. I wasn't allowed to sit with them at lunch. They'd push me off the swings, push me off the slide. It was just that kind of stuff because I was different. I'd also had all my front teeth pulled, and so I had like no teeth, no front teeth, and it was just, they would bully me all the time. I'd come home crying every day. So my mom homeschooled me.
Right.
Then I went to a private school, and I kind of got picked on by the older girls there because there was a maximum of 50 kids in that school. And that's from preschool to senior, 50
Right.
kids total.
Wow.
So I was like the only girl in my grade, and I had friends that were like 2 and 3 years younger than me, but the girls that were like 2 and 3 years older than me would just pick on me all the time. And so,
Kids are mean.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. My kids are all, I've got 5 children in this house, and they're all homeschooled.
Yeah, and I think
And I
that's,
still have brown hair, so I'm good. Give me a year or so.
and I think that's just one of my biggest like problems is just knowing that there's people that are just mean like that out there.
Yeah.
You know, not even getting into like the worst people than that, but just that there's relatively normal people that have jobs and they go places and they, you know, grab their groceries and they have kids and they're just mean-spirited people.
Right. But don't you think it's cool that now that, you know, you're in your 20s, now you have this platform that you can talk about this and help other kids that went through the things that you went through? Maybe you don't even think of it like this, but I think it's cool that you have this platform now where you're in the public eye a little bit, and I think that's going to grow and grow. I think that's going to happen more and more for you on a larger scale. You have this platform to kind of let people know that this exists and this is how you can combat it, and this is what I went through, and this is what people are going through today and don't have to. So I think it's really cool that you can kind of speak out for that now.
Yeah, and I would say like advice-wise, you know, I was lucky that I had a mom who pulled me out of school and homeschooled me.
Right.
A lot of people look down on homeschooling, and it was honestly one of the best decisions we've made. One, because I was able to focus on my career so much, and if I was made to go to a regular school, I wouldn't have been able to focus on what I'm doing, and I probably would be just starting out, not even having been to a vocal coach by now. You know. And so I think that I was very lucky to have gotten to experience that.
Yeah, and you've been doing this a long time. Like, what, 3 or 4 years old you were started singing? Yeah, so, I mean, we're talking 20 years, and she's only 23, I think,
22.
right? 22. Not bad.
23 this year. 23 this year.
All right, see, I was close. See, I was pretty close. But, I mean, you know, 20 years of doing anything at your age is awesome. Where are you hoping to go with this? I mean, you talk about your career, so I mean, what's your goal? I know a lot of people enjoy being within the infrastructure of Texas country and stuff like that, but there's others still that would like to get, you know, national, international record deals or whatever. What's the Natalie Rose goal?
Well, I think it depends on whether somebody's looking to make it a career or whether it's just a really fun hobby that they love. Because if it's a really fun hobby they love, they don't mind staying in Texas. But if it's your career and your only source of income, you're always going to want that bigger job promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, and I tend to think of things, it started out with just, this is what I love to do and this is what I like to do, and it would just come naturally to me. And I went from that to, it'd be so cool to shoot music videos and like be on TV and be on, you know, when I was little, it was be on Disney Channel, and you know, it was always just like those dreams of like, I want to do that. Well, in order to do that, you've got to get pretty famous. You know, you can't, you know, be just like a Texas star and be on like, you know, a sitcom that's on Netflix. You know, you have to.
Hey, come on, man.
You know.
Right?
Yeah, well, hopefully that'll happen.
Texas is booming.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get there. But they need to have like a Netflix series about Texas, like Texas music.
They should just have they just call it Tex Flex or something, like just Netflix for Texas, you know? That would be cool.
You better copyright that real quick.
I'm telling you, that would be cool.
You better trademark that like tomorrow.
I think I will. Tex Flex. Yeah, we'll call it that. Tex Flex.
But, you know, I think that once I got older and it started getting into the money side of things, it's not about having a lot of money. It's just I want to be able to make a regular income. I want to be able to afford my own house.
Yeah.
I want to be able to not live, you know, week to week and being like, oh man, this show just got rained out. There's my phone bill down the drain.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I want to get away from that and to where I have at least a steady, like.
And that's tough. Yeah, that's really tough.
You know, because I think, but we're playing a lot. Like in July, we have 18 shows in July.
Wow.
And so.
Anything in East Texas?
No, it's this, you know, this little circle that, hey, we want to play your venue to build a fan base there, and then it's, well, in order to play our venue, you have to have a fan base.
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
Yeah. So it's
I've been a booking
like,
agent. I understand that side of it.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, not anymore. It only took me about a year to realize that I had brain cells left. That nobody should ever want to be a booking agent. But yeah, I love the venues that say, yeah, we'll book you if you have so many likes on Facebook. And as soon as you get that many likes, give us a call.
Well, see, I know people that buy their likes on Facebook, and they have and here's what's funny is I actually had a venue person talk to me about this the other day, and they said, you know what's so weird is we had this band here the other day, and they have like 45,000 likes on their Facebook page.
Nobody showed up.
Nobody really heard them, and nobody really heard of them and all this stuff. But then we hired this actual big act from Nashville, and she only has like 43,000. And it's like, because they bought them.
Yeah, one's natural and the other is not, you know, or organic, I guess is what they call it.
Biggest like tip to discover whether somebody's Facebook pages or Facebook likes are bought. I have not bought any of my fans. I only have about, I'm almost to 6,000. Which is actually pretty average. If you look at Mario Flores, he's about 6,000.
Right.
And so that's about average for somebody that's kind of in the Texas scene, is about like 5,000 to 10,000 is the Texas average.
Sure is.
And so my posts average about 100 or so likes. So for 6,000 likes, each post gets about 100 likes.
That's good.
So if you go to somebody's page and they have 45,000 fans, but their pictures have like 3 likes or 10 likes or even just 30 likes, there is something off about that.
Yeah. Dang, that's a good way of thinking about it. Hey, you guys start liking my stuff. Now I'm nervous.
And Natalie's.
Yeah, of course, and we'll talk about that everywhere you can find you in a minute. But before we do that, we play a game on this show. I don't think Haley played a game with you, but now you're in my living room, so I've got you. But this is called Would You Rather.
Okay. Oh, I like that game. That's my radio tour game.
All right, now the way this works is I have an app on my phone, and this is completely random. I have no idea what's going to come up, okay? So I'm just going to ask you the first 10 Would You Rather questions that come up, and you have to answer one or the other.
Okay.
You can't say, oh, no, neither, or I would do both. It has to be one or the other. All right, so this is Would You Rather with Natalie Rose. First one. Would you rather have a permanently runny nose or a permanently stuffed nose?
Permanently runny.
All right.
Right off the bat, I can tell you as a singer, runny nose is always better than a stuffed up nose.
That's an easy one.
Stuffed up nose makes you like this. Runny nose, you still
At least
sound
you started with the softball.
All right, would you rather be colorblind or not be able to understand puns?
I think my wardrobe's pretty neutral a lot of the time anyway, so I wouldn't have trouble picking out clothes. I'd have trouble shopping.
And you love puns.
I know. I'm always making puns. I think I'd rather be colorblind.
All right. Would you rather go swimming with the sharks or go swimming with the alligators?
Swimming with sharks. That was actually a dream of mine.
All right.
It's easy.
Number 4, would you rather have a fully functional lightsaber or have the ability to throw lightning bolts?
Ability to throw lightning bolts.
Big time.
All right, number 5, would you rather be humiliated by your family or humiliated by your friends?
Well, I'm humiliated by both all the time anyway, so.
But you can't say both. You have to pick
That's
one.
right.
Well, I guess I'd rather be humiliated by my friends, because then I don't have to be their friend anymore, but family you're stuck with.
That's true.
Just hit the unfriend button.
Yeah.
All right, number 6, would you rather marry someone you don't love or marry someone who doesn't love you?
Wow.
That is tough.
That got deep right
That
away.
that was
I was just like, I'm a Libra, so I'm judging all the like pros and cons of marriage right now. I'm just like,
He's going through 40 years.
Yeah, we're gonna be here a while.
Yeah.
well, on one hand, if I married somebody that I didn't love, I'd be kind of like stuck and unhappy or something because they would care about me, but I wouldn't. But if I married somebody that didn't care about me, then they didn't care what I do. So I could just like continue on my life being happy or something. And
But which one would get you the more songs? Probably Love and Not Be Loved Back, I think, would be the better songs.
Don't look at me.
Okay, I think I'd rather be with somebody that I didn't love, I think.
All right. That was number 6. Go away,
Ouch,
Ed.
that's cold-blooded.
Number 7.
Well, I'm too insecure for them not loving me. Like, they have to
there you
love
go.
me, yeah.
All right, number 7. Would you rather have bad breath or smelly feet?
Smelly feet. You can hide those in shoes. You can't hide your bad breath when you talk to people.
That's
You
true.
can't wear shoes on your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I've smelled lots of people's bad breath, but I don't really think I've smelled anybody's bad feet unless
And
it's
bad
like
breath
my own brother or
can leave
something,
an
you know?
impression, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
You get
true,
real close.
very
Nice to meet you. No, it's not.
All right, number 8. Would you rather be the smartest moron or the dumbest genius?
I think I heard somebody answer this one time, and they said like the smartest moron, because if you were like the dumbest genius, you'd be like super smart, but you'd be like book smart, and then nobody would really like want to hang out with you.
And everybody around you would be smarter than you.
Yeah.
Whereas at least if you're the
but
smartest moron, you've got it over everybody that's in your group.
I'd rather be the dumbest genius. I would like to surround myself with excellence, you know?
Yeah.
I'd probably be the smartest moron.
All right.
Well, we can hang out.
61% want to be the dumbest genius. All right, number 9. Would you rather have a boring career or have an exciting but life-threatening career?
Oh, I thought you said born career, like you were just
No,
born
boring,
to do it.
like
Boring
dull.
career.
Yeah.
I think I'd have a rather boring career because I could make my life exciting in like other ways and not jeopardize my life.
Yeah, like by having smelly feet, for example.
Yeah.
Y'all smell this. All right. Number 10, last one. Would you rather spend a day with your favorite band or spend a week with your favorite band member?
I don't really have a favorite band. Well, depends if it's somebody I really want to meet.
I'm your favorite band member.
She has to say that. He's the one who came.
She's spending the week with, we're driving around. We gotta do this. We gotta show.
Let's see, spend a
That's
day
because you can't bring drums on these radio shows.
I would have to pick spend a day with my favorite band. Because in my head, I'm thinking if I spent a week with somebody, I'd probably hate them after a while.
That's fair.
And I don't want to ruin an image of somebody I have in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather pick like my favorite
And
band.
just have one good day.
Like one good day with the band Perry or something, just one good day.
Is that your favorite band? The band Perry?
I feel like it. I think so. I have so many favorite bands, but they're one of my top favorites. I did get to meet them. And they were just super, super fun and incredible.
Yeah, they seemed like they would be.
And they were super nice. And so, like, when I think about spending the day with a favorite band, I'd be like, I want to spend a day with them. Because I think after a week, like, if you're on a bus or something with, like, 3 siblings that might be bickering back and forth, like, I don't know. I'd rather
they're tired of you.
Yeah,
they're
tired of each other.
I mean, yeah, but plus with that, if you're spending a week with somebody and you're a moron with smelly feet, you're probably not going to make it very long anyway. They'll probably kill you.
But you're a smart moron. You're the smartest moron.
That is true.
Has a runny nose.
Yeah, that runny nose.
So wait, is the smartest
Good
moron,
Lord.
Is the smartest moron the one that, like, comes up with the dumb ideas? Like, that's the person who invented the table for pizzas.
That's not a dumb idea. That keeps the cheese off the box. Come on. Have you ever gotten a pizza without the table and a pizza with it? You would know the difference.
Well, my family owns pizza restaurants. And I feel like it wouldn't even be in the box long enough. Like, if you're gonna sit down and order a pizza, you're gonna eat the pizza. You're not gonna put it in a box.
Very true.
She got me.
Italian
Or it's
food
like,
preparation skills with Natalie Rose right here on the ETX ROCKS Show, y'all.
The person who, like, invented the little plastic tips on shoelaces. Like,
Anglets.
it's like...
That's what, or aglets. That's what they're called.
Yeah, it's like...
Whoa.
It's like, just those little things that, like...
That's dumbest genius stuff right there.
All right. I'll play.
Okay, so it's like the dumbest genius for the tabletop thing.
I
I don't know, I feel like the smart moron is somebody that comes up with, like, a way to, like, reach your soda from the fridge from the couch. Like...
I found that out. I had kids. Go get me a soda.
Like, those are the ones that, like, come up with, like, surprisingly genius things for moronic
Or is it like the dumbest genius is the guy who came up with, like, the extended gripper claw thing, but then the smartest moron is the one who put, like, the dinosaur hand on the end of it?
Wow. All right. So this is a train off the tracks here, y'all. That's okay though. You guys obviously have your guitars. You gonna play us something else?
Yeah.
What are you gonna play?
That's my pick.
I gotta tell you, my favorite single, other than Conformity, was Better Off Without You. I love that song.
Thank you.
I don't know if you guys can play it or not.
Yeah, he plays it. I usually chill out on this song.
All right.
That's another thing is I play guitar. I'm not the best at it, and I know that because I'm more about vocals. And so I like to play rhythm, but a lot of times, like, people always ask me, like, why aren't you playing your guitar? It's like, well, I did play. I play on, like, at least one full set at my show. I'm more confident dancing around.
You play more than I do.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All that I am feeling is too hard to explain. My mind's been tugging backwards for words again. I thought this would be the freedom that I need. Oh, my love got to be. You led me on and tore my life apart. I just brushed it all away right from the very start. It was all love chasing
Better Off Without You by Natalie Rose. Natalie, I think what most folks are going to want to know the answer to right now is where can folks buy your music?
They can find all 4 of my previous singles and my current single, Conformity, on iTunes.
Okay.
Little fun fact, my last 4 singles were all produced by Ray Benson in his studio.
Nice.
And my current one, you were talking about Dolly's influence. My current single, Conformity, was actually produced by Dolly Parton's lead guitarist and producer.
Good Lord. Okay.
Kent Wells up in Franklin, Tennessee.
Ray Benson.
And
wow. So, what was that like? I mean, just working with Ray.
That was really cool. His son was it's really cool because Ray, was like this guy, and then his son, Sam, kind of oversaw the whole project. And so, I just remember being in like the studio, and I remember like this moment clear as day. I just remember Ray stepping through the door, but he like bent down to come through the door.
Right.
And then like, I just remember that moment. Like, just,
wow. That's crazy. That's some heavyweights producing your stuff. Do you have actual physical albums now?
We do for the first 4 singles. The one that was produced by Ray Benson, we do have an EP, and we do sell those at our shows. I've been working on getting an online store, but I am the one who created my website, and I haven't figured that out yet. I made my own music video for Conformity too. I'm like a do-it-yourself person.
The Conformity video is really cool too. I mean, it's obviously homemade, but I mean the feel of it is really cool. It's so Natalie, I think. I mean, like, honestly, that's the best way I can put it. And you guys can go to YouTube and check that out. It's Natalie Rose Conformity. But if you're going to watch it there, you got to make sure you're requesting it too, because that's what's going to help get this to #1. And I think that's where it's going. I really do.
Thank you.
I've never called that on this show before. You guys know that out there. So the website is natalierosemusic.com. That's where folks can go to follow along with you, find out where you're playing, find out where all your social media stuff and stuff like that is, and one heck of a biography on there too, that you guys can read and find out more about Natalie. Natalie, I want to thank you for coming back on the ETX ROCKS Show. I know you did a phone call earlier last year, but it's cool having you here in person.
Well, thank you. It was really cool being here. This is like one I was looking forward to. So.
Awesome, thank you. And where can folks go to book Natalie Rose? Do you have an email address
it's
for
on
folks?
It's on the website. The website, I've made it super simple. It kind of has everything. You can go to, like you said, natalierosemusic.com. There is an Instagram button on there. There's a Facebook button. You can actually watch the Conformity music video and the Better Off Without You music video on the homepage, as well as a live version of Conformity that I did at LSA Burger Company in Denton, Texas. Then there's the shows. You can see all my shows coming up. And if you're ever in the area where I'm playing, you have to stop by. You can also read the About Me. You can go to Booking, and Booking has like where you can contact my manager and all that.
Very cool.
And the last page I recently added, I just titled it Resume, and it was actually made for my manager to be able to copy and paste the link in an email, which would lead them not only to my resume, but also just to my website in general.
Kind of like an EPK almost for promotional.
But it's like attached to the website. And so it just kind of has all the awards I've been nominated for and have either won or not. It has all the venues that I've played, past and present. It has all the people I've shared the stage with, whether it was a song swap or if I opened for them, all the people I've shared the stage with. And it also
and that's a heck of a list, by the way. Ray Price is on it. That's all I got to say about that.
And it also has all my singles and what numbers they made on the charts. Like, it's just got all that kind of info on there. So
I think your highest one now, you had 2 at number 25. So that's the goal, is to at least get one higher than that. And I think this is the one for sure.
Yeah, come on, 24.
Yeah, 24, that's all. That's all she's asking. 24, guys, we can do this. She's halfway there. I mean, you're at 48, you just got 24 more to go, and bam. I know we've been really blessed with this show, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but for some reason, after we have a country artist on the show, their singles seem to shoot up quite a ways. So I don't think we're having any part of that. We're really small, but hey, you never know. We ask people all the time, please request these songs if you like them, and this is one of our favorites, Conformity.
Thank you.
I just love the message of it for young people and self-doubt and self-confidence.
Yeah.
It's not just a fluff piece on the radio.
And it's mainly, I just wrote it because even though the character in the song has like a not so happy ending, I wanted it to maybe open people's eyes to finding themselves, to,
Right.
hey, don't be like this character in this song. Find, be yourself, be true to who you are. And that's the thing, whether you have like OCD and Tourette's and you like your room in an organized manner, you like to read books instead of going out and party, you like your hair the natural color it was, whatever you like to do. The biggest message is basically just don't let others control what you think. And one of the main reasons I wrote that song was because I've gotten told before things like, you should cut your hair, you should grow your hair out, you should wear dresses on stage, you should look more like Taylor Swift, you should do this. And that, I guess it just all built up inside of me for such a long time that I resented it all.
And it's all ridiculous, to be honest. I think part of the reason why people, Dolly Parton's a good example of this, I think part of the reason why people do well in the music industry is because their creativity is not being harnessed. It's being let go. I think the problem is, though, is you have to be just ridiculously big in character or in voice, I guess. I don't know how to put it. You have to be loud to get beyond what these people are trying to harness your abilities. Like, you should do this, you should do that. We want another one of these people. We want another one of those people, instead of just saying, I'm Natalie Rose, take me or leave me.
I think another thing is just realizing that because sometimes people say things that you think might be true, but then you have to realize that sometimes, like, there'll be obvious ones that point out to you, like, this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right.
I'm just going to continue. We do, a bunch of covers during our shows because we still do 3 and 4 hour shows sometimes. Right. And we did Silver Wings, and I actually had an older cowboy, like an older, had to be at least 50s, 60s, come up to me, and he said that we shouldn't do Silver Wings anymore because that song is dead.
Right? We couldn't believe what we heard.
Yeah, and so that was like a moment where I was like...
Don't get me started.
It was just like a moment of like, well, that just proves that not all people's opinions are right.
And that's why they have jukeboxes.
Right? And if you don't like Silver Wings, then don't play it, buddy.
That's right. Don't waste your quarter on it or whatever it costs nowadays.
So I started getting a little bit of like that resentment when I would just be told like, dress this way or sing this way or sing these songs and don't do this and don't do that. And I think I just got irritated because it's not like it was anything crazy. Like, hey, don't go party and get drunk on TV. Like, it's nothing crazy like that.
Right.
It's just like when I was told like, hey, don't wear your hair in a ponytail or don't do this. It just made me want to do it more. It's like just that irritating, like, you don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do because I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a dad.
And don't tell me what not to do because I'm going to
do that too. Yeah, I'm a dad. I know how this works. Yeah. So I know what you're saying, but in a music industry way, it's just wrong, I think, and it happens too much.
And I feel like you don't need to be like that person because they already have that person. That person already exists.
Thank you.
Johnny Cash has already existed, and I think that's why I get a little irritated sometimes when people complain, whether it's like the bro country or it's whatever, when people complain about newer styles of music or different styles, whether it's like Texas country, but it's like different. That's why I get a little mad because when people complain about it, because not everybody, if everybody was like Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton, it would be boring instantly. If all the millions of artists in the world were the exact same.
It's called contemporary country nowadays. Boring. Just, I mean, if you listen to a radio station now that plays contemporary country, you could listen to 5 songs and how would you identify who the singer is?
And I guess I don't have anything wrong with bro country, but it's when everybody's conforming to bro country. You got your one bro country artist, or maybe 3 of them, okay, that's good. But you got your Texas country, okay, that's good. All right, you've got your ballad singers, all right. But it's when everybody starts following, like when it's not 10% of everything anymore, it's like 50% this, 50% that.
Well, what's really scary, honestly, is all of these people that have influences like you do are not letting their influences shine through because the machine wants them to sound a certain way, and that's when you have bro country.
The product
instead
of the artist.
The artist, the creativity is being snuffed out.
If somebody's original idea and their creative original outlet was the bro country in the beginning, and that works for them, that was who they were. But I think when people are now becoming something that they're not because it's
it's what's marketable. But I mean, if you listen to a Natalie Rose song, you can hear who her influences are without asking her. I mean, I could hear Dolly and Patsy and stuff like that. I mean, and then you talk about Selena, and I can hear that part of your voice too. afterwards, which it didn't surprise me at all. But the point is a lot of this cookie cutter music nowadays has taken the influences out of the music, and that's why you don't end up with a traditional sound anymore. And that's why people think Silver Wings is dead, and it's crazy because it's not. That's my 2 cents on that. Don't get me started on bro country and hip hop, as we call it. We're not even allowed to say Duke Dryan's name on this show. Yeah, we have to rhyme the Duke Dryan and Mississippi, Missouri line, whatever it is. All right, guys, you guys have been tuned into another amazing episode, another really awesome guest here on the ETX ROCKS Show. We're really excited to have had Natalie Rose and her guitarist John on the show, coming all the way from South Texas, Seguin, all the way up to East Texas, where we're at in Longview. So I really appreciate your time and coming out here and talking with us.
Thank you for having us.
I know you're exhausted. You've been on this radio tour for a while.
I've been awake since yesterday morning, 8 a.m.
Yeah, well, she's young. She can handle it. So, but you guys, if you're watching for the first time, I want to thank you for tuning in for the first time to our show. If you want to follow along with us, we're located on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ETX Rocks. You can find this show and all of our other ones on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and like 9 other places, all completely free. If you're on iTunes, make sure you rate and review us. That'll really help us out for sure. And subscribe wherever you're at. As we always say on this show, I want to thank y'all for supporting local music. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
Hey y'all, my name's John Horde. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Hey guys, I'm Katie Lynn, and make sure to tune in to ETX Rocks with
Boston Chris,
Darren Watson, ETX Rocks.
ETX Rocks, Alan Fox Band.
Hey guys, we're the Morning Madhouse. I'm Carter. I'm Brandon.
I'm Ginger.
It's the best podcast ever made in all of history.
Hi, this is Paul Bebo on ETX Rocks with Boston Chris Barnes. You're gonna love it.
ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, DP here. ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, we're Enduring House, a Christian rock band.
ETX Rocks!
Hey, this is Monty Pittman from ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, Jaden Farnsworth, ETX Rocks.
Hey everybody, I'm David McCarty with the Gypsy Creek Band. As always, ETX Rocks.
Hey guys, this is Chris Colston. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
To the ETX ROCKS Show.
The ETX ROCKS Show.
Ho! Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I just want to make sure you support local music.
Hi East Texas, this is Chris Wayne.
And Crystal Clark with KYKX 1057. ETX rocks!
Hey East Texas, we're Lady Chaz and the Tramps. And just remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Todd Freeman of ETX Rocks with Boston Chris.
Hey, East Texas, I'm Waylon Hicks, and remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the one and only SP and Mexicano con Estilo. Make sure to support your local music, and ETX rocks.
Hello, we're one way home.
Hey East Texas, this is Teaser.
Please continue to support local music.
And always remember, ETX rocks!
Howdy folks, this is Aaron Watson. Support local music and ETX rocks.
Hey, this is Chris Colston, and make sure you support local music
and ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Hannah Kirby. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Tough guy, ho!
Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between, we are ETX Rocks!